Friends, even the police were shocked to see what this nobleman did to this girl. Friends, it is said that a girl was very proud of her beauty. She had made thousands of lovers. She knew that she could make everyone dance to her tune. One day she ran away from home with a lover and became a courtesan of the city's most famous beauty market. She had many bad habits, but the worst habit was that she hated fakirs. She was also irritated with fakirs because they eat by begging. There is a lot of difference between a beggar and a fakir. Remember that the girl was living in a slum. There was a line of customers waiting for her, and there was no one to make her understand that she should do nothing except ruin herself. She sat with that lover at the door of a nearby house, and while talking, her eyes fell on a fakir wearing torn old clothes coming from a distance, who was passing through the market wearing broken shoes. He was a devotee of Allah, who was very capable and pious. He used to go out in the neighborhood to preach the religion. And whenever he saw someone who was away from the religion, he used to teach him the religion, but he never said bad things about anyone. So now as he passed by this same sweet shop, the house was right in front of where both of them were sitting. She did not like fakirs anyway, so she turned her face away with disgust. But when that Darvesh Allah came near the sweet shop, despite the crowd, the cook said, "Baba, wait, I have kept a hot cup of milk for you, and I know that you will pass by here after Asr namaz. That is why the halwa and the cup are ready for you." He served a hot cup of milk with great devotion and love, and sweet halwa was presented in the service. The courtesan got very angry at this, and went and told the confectioner that he presented a cup of milk to this Allah man, gave him a cup of hot milk, and since when have we been sitting here? He is with his lover. She started saying to him that look, even in such a crowd he told us to wait, and on seeing this fakir he immediately gave the cup to him. This confectioner lies. So here the Alawala sat and drank the milk saying Bismillah Rahman Rahim, and went ahead saying Alhamdulillah. That prostitute was sitting with her lover. Due to rain, there was mud in the streets when the person of Allah passed in front of that house. Unknowingly, his feet fell in the mud, and due to which the mud flew and landed on Tawa's clothes. The courtesan got very angry at this and shouted, "He has thrown mud on my precious dress." On hearing her screams, a crowd gathered there, but at this moment her lover got up and beat him up. He did not see how great a scholar of religion he was, and if he was in the attire of a fakir, then he was not a beggar. Seeing the mud stains on the clothes of his beloved, he slapped the man of Allah right there. No one expected that that man, the confectioner who was a devotee of the God, said that he would do such a cruel and despicable act. He said that you have gone mad. You don't know who this person is. God said that it doesn't matter, brother. Whatever he did it out of love for this woman. Now after getting beaten up, he started thanking Allah and saying, "Oh Allah, you are very unkind. Sometimes you feed me milk, sometimes I get a slap. But I too am your lover. I am your lover. Just lead me on your true path. It agrees with your will." Saying this, the man of Allah moved ahead. That woman was being disrespectful to you. That lover of hers was also involved with her. After that, she started saying, "Let's go inside the house." That lover of the prostitute started going inside the house when suddenly on the stairs he stepped on it and his foot slipped, and then he fell on the ground with his head and died right there. The prostitute started wailing and said, "Look, that old man cursed my lover. He is a magician." She read it and blew on it. So that is why he died. He started inciting people against them. After that, the man was killed. After that, the courtesan started following him like a man from Allah. Earlier, she was impudent, and now she started praying to Allah after the death of her lover. He had started by gathering people against Wali and those who had bad faith. Those who went to the Taj Mahal of Wali because everyone was crazy about her beauty. They were dying for every gesture of her. When one lover died, then thousands of his lovers stood there. They began to say, "That the one with Allah, he will have to leave from here. He is a magician, and he will cast a spell on people after reading it, so he will have to leave from here." The confectioner explains to everyone that he is not like this. He is a very accomplished elder. He is a saint of Allah. He is not one to curse. Whatever happened, it was because of that man's actions. Didn't you see that he slapped her? Allah Ta'ala got angry. But the people said, no, he is a magician, and that courtesan is saying the truth. So all those people were crazy about her beauty. He kept doing whatever she said, and then all the people gathered near Alawail and started pelting stones at his hut. One stone even hit Alawail's head and he got injured, but he didn't even utter a word or curse. He did not even give in. The people of Allah came out and showed the path of guidance. They said, "Brothers, why are you getting angry? "What have I done?" One of them said angrily, "You cursed the lover of that beautiful woman. You recited something on him and blew it, due to which he fell dead." And the man of Allah said, "By God, I have not given any curse." That person said, "Then why did he fall and die?" Allah told how unknowingly he dropped mud on the clothes of that prostitute, how the lover of that prostitute slapped him, and how he died. People went and told this to the courtesan. She said that he is a magician. He takes the name of Allah. He has done all this, I will not leave him. And that confectioner was also among those who understood him. The confectioner started saying, "Look, what he had done, I did it. I did not give you a cup of milk, it is my mistake, and you took out all your anger on that Allah. You do not know that Allah does not like the disrespect done to him." I was explaining earlier also, and I'm explaining now, that there is still time to repent and apologize to him. Otherwise, you will get a severe punishment. That prostitute got even angrier and said, "I bow down before him and apologize to him. This cannot happen. You don't know who he was. He has done this to a man. I will take revenge on him." She has done this to her lovers and asked a lover that there is a very great magician here. Then one of her lovers said that, yes, a magician is sitting at such and such place who is a non-Muslim, but there is no thorn in his practices. Big people are afraid of him, and in his practice any person turns into an animal. Then she said, "Okay, I will go there." Now, on the advice of that lover to take revenge, she came to the biggest black magician of that place, a non-Muslim magician, and said, "A Muslim is a fakir, a fake Baba, and he had killed my lover. He is a magician, and you kill him. Turn him into some animal so that he sits outside my house wagging his tail." Then he said, "Okay, if you want me to turn him into an animal." She said, "Yes, make him the same animal which is impure, and people make him their pet." The non-Muslim said, "But I have heard that he is a very learned scholar, and I cannot do anything against him." She said, "Then I said this, I wish there was a solution to this. You are such an accomplished scholar, so why can't you do this much?" He said while buttering her up. She started saying, "I have heard about your great fame and have come here with great hopes. I will give you whatever amount you demand. I have a lot of money." He said, "Okay, I will do this. I will do black magic and turn him into a dog." He did this for 3 nights continuously. He kept doing the practice, but it did not help. He was afraid that this practice may prove fatal for him. He became worried about his life. He was unable to understand. He called that beauty queen and said, "I was going to marry her, but I cannot do any action. He is a very learned scholar, and every action done on him may hurt me. It may so happen that my life may be in danger, and where I want to make him a dog, it may so happen that I should become a dog." Then that prostitute said, "I will do that act on them. You are a coward. Tell me what to do." She said, "You are a Muslim, and would you like to become a non-Muslim because after doing this act, you will no longer be a Muslim?" She said, "I could do anything to take revenge for that faker. I can go to the limit." And then she started doing that act. The night she did that act, the people of Allah were engaged in their worship. That woman visualized the people of Allah as soon as she blew on them, and that blow turned back and fell on her. She came back, and she became a __. Now she was sitting in her house. The one who once used to be proud of her beauty, today she had become an animal. She told the news to Allah through her knowledge. It was found that the courtesan had now become a __, who wanted to act upon them. The people of Allah came outside her house and called out, "O woman, I did not do any harm to your lover. He died because of his own mistake. O Allah, his death was written in this way. Are you not agreed with this?" But he had slapped me, and Allah Ta'ala disliked this thing. I do not say that I am a very learned scholar, I am a very accomplished person, but Allah does not like it if you oppress an innocent person, and you do the same. You do not know Allah and do not recognize his power, so you wanted to attack me. Now you see that Allah has turned your intentions and your thinking against you, and it is a pity that you are no longer a Muslim. You have become a non-Muslim. You took the help of a magician to destroy me. You destroyed yourself. I regret that you have ruined yourself. Now that prostitute who wanted to turn Allah Wala into an animal and make him sit outside her brothel. Now she is the one who is with Allah Wala. She keeps crying while sitting outside the hut of the husband and becomes their pet. But the people of Allah do not torture her. Rather, they pray for her. Friends, in today's video, we are going to tell you the story of such a wife who kept crying with her husband for many days. She kept crying sitting on the grave of her husband. Then suddenly, the husband came out of his grave, and after knowing what happened next, you will surely get goosebumps. That is why today's video is very special for all of you. You must watch this video completely. Please watch and like the video and subscribe to the channel, friends. There was a boy named Sajid living in a village near ours who was not very educated, and neither did he have any special looks. Due to this, he was not getting married anywhere. But he had a beautiful cousin whose name was Zarina, with whom he started loving her very much from the bottom of his heart. One day, Sajid told his family that he wanted to marry her. When Sajid's family insisted on this, Zarina said yes, and both of them got married and left for their house. Then when Zarina reached Sajid's house and started living with him, she came to know that this boy was an ignorant person. Seeing this, she started thinking about his ugly face. He had no looks and no brains. How will I spend my whole life with this ignorant person? Thinking about these things, Zarina started disliking Sajid in her heart, but she kept quiet. And after 3 or 4 years of marriage, friends, usually after the day the bride goes to her parents' house. Similarly, this girl also goes back to her home, thinking that she would never return to this house. But she did not dare to talk to her parents because firstly, they had a close relationship, and secondly, she had decided to marry. Yes, on the 3rd day, Sajid reached his in-laws' house to bring his wife, and he left with his wife. Now they had to go from one village to another. On the way, the wife told the husband that she was very thirsty, so she should go nearby. There was a well. The husband went near it, kept his bundle aside, and started drawing water out of it using a bucket. Seeing this, the devil put such a thought in the wife's heart that she went and pushed her husband from behind, due to which her husband fell into the well. The wife thought in her heart that he would die here, and I would be free from him forever. Thinking of such things, she went back to her father's house and started behaving like a woman. She started crying. When the father saw his daughter crying, he asked her, "What happened, daughter?" The daughter said, "My husband had left me sitting at one place, and I don't know where he went. Even after waiting for a long time, he did not return. That's why I have come back home." On hearing this, the father said that he is a big fool. He is a human being. How could he leave our daughter abandoned like this? So, dear friends, this was about this side. Now listen to the other side. When her husband fell in the water, he tried to save his life by struggling with his hands and legs. Then, one of his hands got stuck in the rope. The person to whom the basket was tied held the rope tightly, and thus he escaped from the well. After a while, he gathered courage and slowly climbed up. With the help of the rope, he came out of the well. After coming back, he started thinking, how can my wife do this to me? Why would she have done this to me? But it did not matter. I will go to take her again. Maybe she would change. Friends, thinking just these things, he went back to his in-laws' house. As soon as he entered his in-laws' house, when the girl's parents saw that he was feeling very embarrassed about this matter, they said to their daughter, "It is okay, daughter. Now you go with him. Now he will not do this." Now, his wife started going with him again, but one thing was coming to her mind again and again. She started thinking that if he is illiterate, stupid, his looks are not good, but he has done all this in front of my parents. He hid my flaws, he has a big heart. If today he had revealed my actions in front of my parents, then I would not have been able to show my face to my parents. Just this thing created such love in the heart of his wife that she felt very ashamed of her actions and accepted her husband with all her heart. The husband saw that his wife was very happy with him. He is very ashamed of what he did, and in fact there was a lot of change in him, which is why he never said this to his wife again. Well, after that, an immense love developed between the husband and wife, and the love was such that both of them could not even breathe without each other. And then, in this way, 5 years passed without even realizing it. Now, if something was missing in their life, it was the lack of children. They wanted good children. But despite all efforts, Allah Ta'ala did not bless them with children. Then one day, Allah Ta'ala heard their prayer, and it was a very happy day for the husband and wife when the wife came to know that it happened, that it was a delusion, and he felt as if his life was complete. But friends, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala probably had some other plans. After 6 months, Sajid suddenly died in an accident. The wife was deeply saddened by the sudden death of her husband. shocked. She kept crying and became very upset. Her whole life had been ruined. She felt as if she would not be able to live anymore, but her hope to live was the child growing in her womb. Now she had to live for her child. This was because the wife not only wanted to bring the last remains of her husband into the world, but also wanted to make it flourish. The husband was then buried in the graveyard. The wife used to visit her husband's grave daily and recite the Holy Quran there. It had become her habit to recite the Holy Quran and cry every day. There was not a single day when she would not visit her husband's grave. And in this way, 9 months passed by. And now that time had also come. When her child could come into this world at any time, one day it so happened that the wife was sitting on her husband's grave and crying. Then suddenly, she started having severe pain. The pain became so intense that she started crying about her husband's death right there. She fell beside the grave and called for help. She started calling out, but no one in the graveyard could come to her aid. She felt in pain as if her last moment had come. She prayed to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala for help. "Oh Allah, I want to bring the last remains of my husband to this world. Oh Allah, you are the only one who can help me. Oh Allah, please help me." The wife had been suffering from pain for a long time, but no one came to help her. Now her eyes were starting to close because of the pain. She was about to die when suddenly someone came from behind and held her hand. When she looked with her crying eyes, she was shocked. She saw that the person holding her hand was none other than her husband, Sajid. Seeing him, she started crying and said, "Sajid, please forgive me. I am probably leaving this world before I can bring your last memento into this world." Her husband said lovingly to her. He caressed his wife's forehead and then picked her up and walked away from there. Then, when the wife regained consciousness, she saw that she was in a deserted place, and she could hear the sound of a child crying. She was unable to understand anything. Then she called her husband loudly, and then a woman came to her. She came and said, "Congratulations, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has blessed you with a son." Zarina immediately asked, "Where am I?" And that woman told her, "You were in very bad condition. A man had left you with me and I was working as a midwife in this village. It is good that you came here on time, otherwise you and your child could have lost your lives." Zarina asked, "Who was that person?" The woman said, "He did not tell me anything, instead he covered his face with a sheet. He had kept you hidden, and after handing you over to me, I don't know where that person went. Dear friends, who was that stranger? Was he her husband or someone else?" Zarina has not been able to understand this to date, but yes, whoever it was a divine help from Allah. She looked at her son, and then hugged him and started crying profusely and thanking Allah. It seems that years have passed, but Zarina has not stopped visiting her husband's grave to date. Zarina has not been able to forget her husband to date. She is happy that the last sign of her husband, that is her son, is with her. So friends, now you know about this story. What is your opinion? Please share your thoughts in the comment box.